Come in,
Come,
sir.
Simran, come.
Thank you, sir.
Be
Good
seated.
morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
So, Simran,
Yes, sir.
how are you feeling?
I'm good, sir.
Good. So, you have studied journalism
Yes, sir.
from University of Delhi.
Yes, sir.
What do you think is the quality of journalism in the present times?
Sir, it is true that all the social reformers, they've relied on the fire of their pen to bring about change. But currently, journalism itself is under fire. And that can be attributed to a lot of factors. And most importantly, in my view, it is the rising competition in journalism, sir. And there have been doubts raised against the utility of media as the fourth pillar of democracy. But there have been a few instances where citizen journalism itself, led by the decentralization caused by social media, has brought out information that has helped enforce the democratic principles, sir.
Okay. I will give you a situation,
Yes, sir.
react to it. I just say that in this war, the present war, which is happening between Ukraine and Russia,
Yes, sir.
USA is becoming very successful in taming China. Right? Comment.
Sir, I agree with you that what had been predicted that China would probably tend to get aggressive. We are not seeing that. Perhaps it has to do with many factors. The United States, the pressure might also be one of these factors which is hindering China's expansion. But I believe, sir, it is also linked to the fact that China at this moment does not really want to aggravate any other nation. And it also tends to not very explicitly associate itself with with Russia. And it has also not supported war. And like India, it has abstained from all the resolutions against Russia, sir. So, in my opinion, this might be because of the hegemony, the dollar hegemony that still lies with the United States.
No, then why US is taking on Russia and why they are supporting Ukraine war? I am saying that they are doing that to tame China. So that is the point we have to explain.
Sir, yes, I agree with you. There are historical reasons that Russia and US have always been on loggerheads, sir. And also because the Ukraine being a democracy, and so that might also be a reason why the US is against this war and against Russia. But yes, one reason could be to show China that any kind of aggressive stance might not be tolerated, but I do not feel that that might deter China to a great extent, given that the United States has not taken any direct action.
No, again, please listen to my statement that it has already tamed China by this war. And that was the primary objective of US entering into the game.
Sir,
As a student of journalism,
yes,
you have
sir.
to analyze.
Sir, United States has not directly entered the war. It is supporting Ukraine explicitly. And of course, that might have tamed China to a certain extent, but I do not feel that that is the primary aim of the US here. It is for the time being to control Russia's expansion, but definitely it comes with the positive benefit to the United States that is might show China that the US might intervene.
Okay. Now, in South Asia, Sri Lanka is gone, Pakistan is gone on financial terms,
Yes, sir.
Nepal is gone.
Yes, sir.
You might have read the newspapers, they are also gone. What do you think what will happen to us, especially when we are supposed to pay a huge loan by the end of this year and the next year, 2 years? They are going to deplete our foreign reserves like anything.
Sir, it is true that the debt to GDP ratio has mounted, but at the same time, we have $600 billion worth of foreign exchange reserves, which is sufficient to provide us a cushion. And at the same time, we've also not erred in the ways that countries like Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Pakistan have. And I think that we're in a safe position, sir, that we'll not see any sort of crisis.
Do you think that our economy is going up?
Sir, I think that the growth after COVID has been a K-shaped curve, wherein or the organized sector is seeing massive growth, but the unorganized sector, we are not sure how it is performing. And also there have been good GST collections, and also we are raising the number of unicorns, sir. But at the same time, we also have to be cautious in terms of keeping the inflation under control, sir. So I think that a K-shaped is the right.
Okay, the last question. Where do you find fiscal policy of India?
Sir, our fiscal policy, it
Where is it basically?
sir, I think our fiscal policy, it has been now, or it has been shifted more towards capital expenditure.
No, you have suppose industrial policy,
Yes, sir.
tourism policy.
Yes, sir.
So you type, you will get industrial policy. Type your tourism policy. Similarly, where will you get our fiscal policy?
Yes, sir. The NK Singh committee, it had recommended that we have to get the debt to, the fiscal deficit to 2.5% by 2022. But I do not see that happening. And the fiscal.
No, that is only the result what you are observing in the field. But suppose I say that, okay, just look into the fiscal policy of the country.
Yes.
And explain me certain things. So from where will you find all these things?
So primarily from the budget and the economic survey.
No, economic survey does not give this at all.
Okay, sir.
So please try to study.
Yes, sir. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Simran, two expressions like Latvian journalist and Godi media are very commonly used these days.
Yes, sir.
What do you understand out of it? Who are Latvian journalists and who are Godi media?
Sir, the term Lutyens journalists, they have been used in it has been used in a derogatory sense to point out towards certain media houses and media elites who have been elite and who have their marked presence in the Delhi politics circuit, sir. And this was also unveiled by the Radia tapes that were leaked. And the term the Godi media, it is used to address supposedly the media persons and the houses which have a soft corner towards the government, sir.
Supposing you are a journalist,
Yes, sir.
freelance journalist, would you like to follow a particular ideology, political ideology? Would you like to align yourself with some political party?
Sir, the primary tenet of journalism is objectivity and neutrality. And I'll forever keep that in mind, and hence I'll try to always stay away from any particular ideology, sir.
Okay, theoretically, okay. But when we watch the TV, we find that the majority of anchors follow a particular line of thought,
Yes,
a
sir.
particular ideology. They work as a spokespersons for some political parties. Do you
Yes.
know it is correct? Do you agree with this?
So yes, to an extent, some channels do have a soft corner for some or the other political party. And of course, that is a result of the increasing competition, commercialization, and hence to some extent, politicization of the media as well. But increasingly, we're also seeing that since citizens have themselves become a part of journalism, and local journalists, they are also playing a major role. So there is hope, sir. But of course, in my opinion, there should be better self-regulation of the media to prevent
But
this.
most of them are paid journalists. They get paid for their work.
Sir, the media houses? Yes, sir. They are also on the payroll of a particular organization, and that has some or the other commercial and political ties. So, of course, we cannot ignore that fact.
So that means that ethics has no importance in journalism. Am I right?
So, while it may appear the same from the current circumstances, but ethical journalism has from time to time also showed us its relevance, sir, especially during COVID, sir, when a lot of hysteria was visible on the television sets. It was, in my opinion, it was a local journalist and other media organizations available on the internet who had showed the value of true information, sir.
Okay. Anthropology is your subject.
Yes, sir.
Optional. No?
Yes, sir.
You know something about the National Tribal Policy framed by the Government of India?
Sir, I beg your pardon, I'll have to read.
Tribal welfare is one subject which is getting sidelined of late in the name of development.
Yes.
Do you agree with this?
Sir, after independence, we adopted an integrationist approach where we thought that development and tribal welfareism would go hand in hand. But it was also observed by Professor L.P. Vidyarthi that integration has just become assimilation. And in my opinion, India faces a unique challenge in that our mineral reserves and our industrial corridors, they are concentrated in the tribal belt, sir. So that is one particular peculiarity that we're facing. There have been some circumstances where such as, for instance, COVID vaccination in Melghat Tiger Reserve, where development and welfareism that were kept hand in hand. But I do agree that by and large we need to improve our situation when it comes to tribal welfareism.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Simran. Simran, I can see that degree that you pursued as journalism.
Yes, sir.
I've just seen it for the first time. What is the difference between journalism and mass communication?
Sir, mass communication in general refers to communication with the masses, in that you are communicating something, and that message, it is being received and understood by millions, if not billions of people. Whereas journalism might refer to me reaching out to people and sharing my information with maybe just 4 or 5 people. Sir.
So what is the difference in the syllabus?
Sir, mass communication has a more practical oriented syllabus, in that they teach about broadcasting and all, whereas in journalism we learn about more theoretical aspects.
Okay. And who is your favorite journalist?
Sir, it is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar.
Okay, that's really nice. And just tell me, these days TV channels, they are behind TRP. They want to increase their popularity, and they just give the message that their channel's TRP is the highest. So watch this our channel. So how this TRP is calculated?
Sir, it is calculated by the BARC, and they take a sample of around 25 to 30,000 television sets, and the measuring devices, they are attached to those sets, sir, and then they find out and they assess that for how long a channel is being watched by households, and then they expand it to derive the TRPs.
Are you aware about the scam about that involved with this TRP?
Yes, sir, it happened in 2020.
And the channel was?
It was Republic TV,
It was Republic.
allegedly.
Okay. So two terms are generally used these days. One is misinformation and another is disinformation. What is the difference between both these terms?
Sir, misinformation refers to an information which is false, but it has not been made false deliberately. Whereas disinformation, it entails an aspect of deliberate tampering with the information, sir.
Deliberate. Okay. Like I can see from your draft that you've scored already a rank 6 in CDS.
Yes, sir.
And suddenly you have planned to shift towards civil services. Your father is in army, I think.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And now you're shifting towards civil services. What's the reason? Sudden change of mind or something of that sort?
Sir, I'd always wanted to pursue a career in the civil services itself. And the reason for this appearing in the exam was because my SSB fell just after the mains examination. And since in the army we believe that it is an holistic test of our personality, I did not think that it would harm me in any way, or I would take the seat of any deserving candidate by appearing for the SSB examination itself. So I thought of the exam as a means to assess myself.
Oh, that was just for the sake of assessment. Ultimately, you wanted to get into civil services.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just anthropology, you have that is your optional subject, anthropology.
Yes, sir.
Like man has evolved a lot,
Yes.
but do you think man has evolved morally? What anthropology tells about the morals, or it talks only about the physiological aspect?
Sir, when we talk about morals in anthropology, the first term that comes to my mind is survival of the fittest, sir. And the fittest species, or for that matter, the individual, it is bound to survive. And so for that matter, we physiologically, we do not really cater to moral aspects, But if we see that in the evolution of family, for instance, how family it came about, that was, in my opinion, based on emotional and moral sentiments that a woman, because of physiological
So is
changes.
it right to say that anthropology is basically anti-moral because survival of the fittest? Because you have to fight to survive.
Sir, I wouldn't say that it is anti-moral, and also anthropology and the discipline is also adapting to the current times where survival of the fittest is no longer considered uh, as a legitimate theory, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
You have this army background,
Yes, sir.
and your father is still serving,
Yes, sir, he is.
and now your result is awaited, command defense.
Sir, the result has been declared.
Because what is the result?
Sir, I secured All India Rank 6 in the exam.
So you are selected,
Yes, sir.
and now you are aspiring for the civil services. So why?
Sir, I've always wanted to pursue a career in the civil services. And I thought of the exam, the SSB exam, it fell just after my mains examination. And since I had time, so I thought that I would be able to gain better exposure by appearing in the SSB exam. But at the same time, I was always more drawn to the civil services. And sir, that emanates from a few reasons. Number one being that because of my army background, I've met and interacted with a lot of people. I've met with a surrendered militant in the Northeast and the vineyard farmers and the vineyard farmer in Maharashtra, where I always felt that my ability to make a positive impact on their lives is very limited, sir. And I wish to improve on that front by aiming to join the civil services. And so, second, I feel that every profession has a core essence by remaining in which you can contribute the most. However, sir, being a girl cadet, I won't be allowed to join the infantry or fight on the front. My father was awarded a gallantry medal for defending the nation's border, but I won't be able to feel the same pride, sir. So I feel that I will be able to utilize my capabilities better in the civil services where I can contribute on a par, sir.
Why the regiments are actually on caste lines in army?
Sir, that emanates from the British notion of martial and non-martial races, sir.
But is it relevant in today's times?
Sir, I have interacted a lot with my father on that. And in the army, it is not leading to any kind of disturbances or any kind of lack of coordination. So it has not been felt that there is a need to uphold that
What is
system.
your actually personal view? Should we have it or we should dismantle it?
Sir, in my view, we do not need to dismantle it as of now because regiments, they take pride in their regimental history. And I think that it is not a good time to tamper with that, given that.
But now more and more castes actually they are demanding that there should be regiment actually for them also.
Yes, sir, the Ahirs have demanded that, for instance.
Yeah, but if you give it to it, then someone else will also demand.
Yes, sir, indeed, demand would produce a counter demand. So we're not really encouraging regiments based on caste lines as of now, sir.
But whatever has happened, we should maintain the status quo. This is what I think you want.
So it is not hampering the functioning of the army in any manner. And in fact, the officers of a unit, they are sourced from various castes and regions, sir. So I do not think that any kind of siloization is taking place.
Okay, now one of your hobbies interacting with children.
Yes, sir.
So what are the missing children? When we say that, missing children problem, what is this problem?
Sir, the economic survey did talk about missing women. I am not aware of missing children, however.
Not aware.
Yes, sir.
But see, thousands of children go missing every year. Sometimes it touches even a lakh in India.
So by missing, are we talking about abduction?
Now, they must be missing for various reasons. Abduction can be one of the reasons.
Yes, sir.
But are you aware about this problem?
I beg your pardon, sir. I'll have to read more.
Not aware. Are you aware about Bachpan Bachao?
Yes, sir. I am.
What is the Bachpan
So,
Bachao?
it was launched by Mr. Kailash Satyarthi, and he wanted to rehabilitate children who had been victim of child labours and trafficking.
What was the issues actually in the petition they filed before the Supreme Court?
Sir, I'll have to read more, sir.
And what are the legal framework to protect children from exploitation?
Sir, Article 23, it talks about prevention of exploitation
Other
of
than
children.
Constitution.
Yes, sir. Sir, there have been some laws such as prevention of human trafficking laws, and there has been a recent amendment to that law as well, sir. And the NI has been given more greater mandate. At the same time, to protect against sexual harassment, there has been the POCSO Act and also the Juvenile Justice Act. And for the holistic development of children, there has been the ICDS scheme that entails the Anganwadi and holistic nutrition as well, sir. And for special protection of girl children who are.
So you mentioned about Kailash Satyarthi.
Yes, sir.
What was the main actually work which they were doing it not only in India and many other countries?
So I believe they were rehabilitating children out of precarious conditions, but I'm not aware of the precise work that they have done, sir. I beg your pardon, I'll read more on it.
Was it related to prohibition of child labor?
Yes, sir, it was.
Simran, do you agree that India is a vibrant democracy?
Ma'am, I do agree with this fact.
Okay, then why is it that we are slipping in the freedom of press index?
Ma'am, there have been concerns regarding our position in the Freedom of Press Index, and this can be attributed to several factors. However, although the media, it is the fourth pillar of democracy, and making the media strong is vital to upholding democracy. I believe that the media's freedom is declining not just because of governmental pressure or any decay in democracy from the top level, but there have been instances where the journalism itself is facing instances of implosion, ma'am. So I do not think that our position in the Press Freedom Index, it truly represents our situation, our democratic situation, ma'am.
Looking at the ground realities, in your personal opinion, you don't think that media is under a lot of curbs?
Ma'am, media is under a lot of curbs, but in my experience, what I have observed as a student, I did some practical projects, ma'am. But before taking up any.
What kind of practical projects?
Ma'am, for instance, I was the vice president of our departmental fest, and we were hoping to conduct a workshop on fake news. And therefore, we were given a subtle implication that we do not have to touch certain topics. And this was not just limited to one particular section, but was coming also from the sponsors and other stakeholders. So I feel that the pressure that media is under, it is immense, and the only solution to that is media itself has to come together and rise against all pressure, because one individual or one media house can't do much, ma'am.
Okay. What is our rank in the index?
I think it is 140.
142. And
Right.
it's slipping
Right.
every year.
Thank you, ma'am.
Who brings out this report?
Reporters Without Borders.
Yeah. And that is an
It is a non-profit organization.
based in which country?
I think it is Sweden, ma'am, but I'll check.
France.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, you named Dr. Ambedkar as your favorite journalist.
Yes, ma'am.
Mahatma Gandhi himself was a great journalist.
Yes, ma'am, I agree.
Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
What was his role during the freedom struggle?
Ma'am, Mahatma Gandhi.
Not in the political sense. I'm
Yes.
only talking of the journalistic
Yes.
sense.
Ma'am, while he was in South Africa, Mahatma Gandhi launched his own paper called Indian Opinion. And that paper, it helped disseminate information from Gandhi's circle to the Indians that were present in South Africa. And it also helped to raise the Indian perspective to the authorities.
And
And
it was an underground paper. Yeah, it went underground. Okay. When is a flag hoisted and when is a flag unfurled?
ma'am, I'm not aware of the precise timings, but I think it has to be done before sunset. I'm sorry.
That is military point of view.
No.
Yes. She is trying
That
to.
is every day on government
Hmm.
buildings, you unfold the flag and then bring it in the evening. That's not the question. The question is, when is the Indian national flag hoisted and when is it unfurled? It's two different terms. You're doing the
Yes.
same job.
Yes, ma'am. I'm not aware of the.
You're not aware.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Hoist would mean?
Ma'am, to raise the flag
Yes.
up and
Unfurl would mean?
to unfurl the flag, basically it starts flowing and it's visible.
Horizontal and vertical. Read on that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Now, Mosul is based in which country?
I beg your pardon, ma'am.
Mosul.
I think it is Syria, ma'am.
No. What is the controversy?
I'm not aware, ma'am.
Okay. Is Jerusalem the capital of Palestine?
Ma'am, they claim that it is the capital,
No,
but
I'm not asking of claims. I said, is it yes or no?
ma'am, no, it is Ramal.
You're right. Where is Haifa? In which country?
I'm not aware, ma'am.
Israel.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. And where is Suez Canal?
It's in Egypt, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. What was the controversy about Suez Canal?
Ma'am,
The first Arab-Israel war.
ma'am, it was when the Egyptian ruler, he had declared that
Who was the ruler? Who was the king then? No,
I,
not the king.
I'm having difficulty reminding myself of his name. Yes, indeed. He had declared sovereignty, Egyptian sovereignty over the Suez Canal, ma'am, and that is when the UK and Israel they had to intervene.
UK and Israel.
Yes, ma'am.
France.
Yes,
Israel?
yes.
Yes.
Led
then what
by
happened?
the UK.
Then what happened?
I think they did not the NATO or the Western forces they did not achieve their goal, and this sovereignty lies with Egypt only.
Who had to intervene?
UK.
UN had to intervene.
Thank you.
Okay, now is Palestine because international affairs and you want to be part of the IFS, and that's why these questions.
Right.
Has Palestine been recognized as a state?
I'm sorry, ma'am. I'll have to find that out.
Okay, please do. Now, what is the role of opinion leaders in policy formulation?
Ma'am, I think it is the opinion leaders themselves who help the government and again the general public to frame a favorable position or an unfavorable position towards any policy. For instance, this was A.D. Shroff who led the movement for liberalization, ma'am, since the 1960s, and he was one.
They act as a bridge between the people and the government.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes.
And if they feel, they debate, and they convince the people that this is good for them, it gets reflected into policy. If they feel this is not good, they help generate a general public opinion.
Yes.
That is it. Thank you. My time is up.
Thank you, ma'am.
So please wait outside. We shall call you back.
Thank you, sir. Come in, sir.
Come. Right.
Thank you, sir.
So, how was your experience of the interview?
So the experience was good, but my performance was not up to the mark.
What deficiencies do you notice yourself?
So obviously the factual questions that ma'am had asked about international relations, and there were some questions that sir had asked about children policies and role of Kailash Satyarthi. And sir, also the question on fiscal policy that you'd asked.
वैसे fiscal policy होती कहाँ है ये तो बताओ.
Sir, with the government, the finance ministry.
No, but how do we come to know? How does the parliament come to know about it?
Budget,
Yes.
spending, and taxation.
Is what he's saying? I would like to add to it that if you just go to the budget, you will find a separate chapter
Okay, sir.
at the end of the budget, which is giving 3 documents, right? That medium-term fiscal policy is a specific document of policy, and then medium-term fiscal policy strategy statement.
Okay, sir.
So please go through these 2 statements.
Right, sir.
That will be very nice of you, huh? Because this is the question which should be known to you
Right, sir.
as a student of journalism, or otherwise also it should be known. Now, I would suggest that you should go through chapter number 2 and 4 of economic survey.
Okay, sir.
Chapter number 2 and 4. Although you are very well read, but even then I would like to tell you that while analyzing international relations, in the brain, what you should do when the question is asked, give a pause, be cool, and try to analyze as to what is being intended. What is the intention of that question? I was again trying to ask, the same thing. But you are not coming to the point. This war actually is not the war between Ukraine and Russia. It is the war between Europe, US, and China. Because they don't bother about Russia. Russia is nothing for them. It's only $1.6 trillion economy. US is 24. China is 21. They are the huge economies.
Yes.
So at present, Russia doesn't matter for them. And Russia is the only country in the world which favors and which is standing with China.
Yes.
They want to diminish Russia so that China is alone and that is Gharad. And that's why they are not taking any action against India. Even after so many things happening, they are not taking any action, no bad statement also. They are coming here and then try to convince us, don't do it. Because if you should understand, as my dear daughter, that next in line after this is Japan and India.
Sorry.
Next in line is Japan and India. So they are basically doing everything against China. They want to tame China.
Right.
Russia, when they start using their weapons, suppose, when they gave their latest weapon to Ukraine, Russia is wonderstruck. They don't have any counter to those weapons. So you should understand things in depth. This is what lacks in your interview. Otherwise, you're a superb candidate, very profoundly speaking everything very forcefully. But more than force, what is required in the interview, my dear child, is that you should be able to convince that you have deeper knowledge.
Yes.
And as a journalist, you don't have to give your opinion, you know it. What is the role of journalist? You have to play the things as they are.
Yes.
That should be visible in any interview. So never try to take any attempt to answer something which you don't know.
Right.
You can simply say that I don't know it. Because your super good qualities, they will be hidden under these things. The worst thing which a board can appreciate is that if you speak lies, it means you are gone. Then you cannot score more than 120 marks.
Yes.
So what we have to do is now we want to score 190 marks. For you, as the board, we wish that you should score 190 or 200 marks.
Thank you, sir.
So remember, my child, that you have to be very sure of speaking and starting the answer completely focused to the question.
Right, sir.
In most of the time, you might have seen that you are trying to make the background first. That's not required. This should not be done.
Okay, sir.
Because then it is generating other questions,
Okay.
which may trap you,
Yes, sir.
which may unnecessarily trap you. So always try to focus on what is being asked. Okay. Then you have been you are having some background of Haryana, and you must have visited this village, Maya.
Yes.
When did you visit it last?
So it's my village. I visited around a year ago.
When is your interview?
11th of May.
So sufficient time. Make a visit to that village again.
Okay, sir.
Just observe what is the position of women and children. What is happening in Anganwadi? Right?
Yes.
What is Anganwadi doing? Anganwadi worker doing? Right? What is happening to the labor room? Just see yourself. Whether you find blood-stained table, even after we are spending so much of money there. And if you observe certain things of this sort, formulate your opinion.
Right, sir.
That what do you suggest? What can be done for your own village? Because this is the examination where you want to check your aptitude, remember it.
Yes, sir.
Factual questions, so many questions you might not answer. It does not make any difference. Remember it. Even if 40% questions you are not able to answer, it will not adversely affect you. But the way you are answering the right questions, the answers which you know, that is what matters.
Right, sir.
Correct very good knowledge on your village and on your state. Because you are from a state where generally it is said that women have lower position. We find it otherwise in our interviews and otherwise. Women have strong position. They have excelled in sports, they have excelled in studies. And when we see them in interviews, they are doing very, very well. Everywhere they are doing good. So the natural question comes, then why is this image of Haryana? And we know the reasons. You should make a note on a paper that why this image of Haryana exists in there. And if it is there, then how do you think, what can be done to improve this situation?
Yes, sir.
Why achievements of women are not able to change this opinion in the country? Why still we think that no, in Haryana, women are not treated well? It's very important for you, especially when you have written that you are so good in debate, drama, and all those things. It means you have capacity to do that work. So do it.
Yes, sir.
And when you go to the rural area, please try to make note what you observe and think of solutions of each and everything which you observe there. Right?
Yes.
That will make you a very strong candidate. You are a strong candidate, but very strong candidate. I want to see, and the board wants to see you coming at us, very successful candidate. Flying with flying colors.
Yes, sir.
Right? मुझे जीत का मजा चखना है. That's what you have to speak.
Yes, sir.
What has to be done by you? मुझे
जीत
speak.
का मजा चखना है.
Yes. So that मजा, जीत का मजा क्या होता है? Do you know it?
I should probably know it, sir.
Then tell me.
So I think I'll get to know it. I'm hopeful that I'll get to know it in a few months.
Few months. Yes. So what is actually that? Whenever, suppose you are participating in Olympics, you are standing on the podium, you get the gold medal.
Yes, sir.
Right? Now, the gold medal is put in your neck. National flag is going up. National anthem is playing.
Yes.
And suddenly the tears are trickling down on your cheeks uncontrollably.
Yes.
No one is threatening you. No one is around you to make you sentimental. But you are at that time understanding that मैंने जीत का मजा चख लिया है. This feeling you should keep throughout your interview. This will project you as a very different type of candidate.
Right, sir.
And never speak one sentence that you want to enter into IAS because of diversified nature of it. It is not. It's the examination of civil services.
Yes.
It is not IAS. Right? So you never answer, because some coaching institutes, they teach you all these things. Never fall in that trap. And I would like to suggest, keep yourself isolated now. Don't interact with many people.
Okay, sir.
Okay? Whatsoever you have that is of very good quality, consolidate it, improve upon it, and polish it.
Yes, sir.
Don't let it be deteriorated by other persons. कोई कुछ बता देगा, कोई कुछ बता देगा, ये क्वेश्चन थोड़ी पूछे जाएंगे एग्जाम के अंदर. Are you understanding it?
Yes, sir.
This is your aptitude which is going to be checked.
Yes.
So be a good human in front of board. Try to interact and try to connect with them. Right? Go on moving your head even when you are answering to ma'am. Then you should be looking at all other people. So many times it happens that I might be saying like, yes, she's saying right. That will boost your confidence like anything.
Right, sir.
And if someone is making face, it means you have the chance to improve it. Right? She will never express this thing because she's asking the question, she will keep very different expression on her face.
Yes.
So this gives you an additional opportunity. Okay, bache?
Yes.
Any question in your heart?
Sir, when it comes to expressing my opinions, should I be more vocal or should I just take a balanced approach?
Very balanced. Very balanced, non-aggressive.
So I
So many
was-
times you appear to be aggressive. You should cool down. That's why I told you that first listen to the question, structure the answer, then coolly answer. So many times you appear to be aggressive, a debater. It is not debater, it is basically conversation. So neither I have to win nor you have to win. There's no argument. It's a conversation. Remember it.
Yes.
Right? Anything else?
What
All the
dress
best.
are you going to wear on that day?
I'll be wearing a sari.
Why sari? Why sari? Tell me. Oh, sorry. ma'am. Why sari? Why not this dress?
My parents feel that I will look good in a sari.
But
What's your opinion?
that's the
It's the
point.
same. Ma'am.
More graceful?
Yes.
Looks more nationalistic. So do wear a sari, but like you've chosen a light color, toned down color, not a very bright spark.
But these things don't make any difference in the interview.
Yes.
Let me tell you.
They add to your personality, sir. I beg to differ. They
Personality.
add to your
But we are happy.
personality.
But if you're happy, but whatsoever is this, you should be happy,
You should be natural and comfortable. Wear what makes you comfortable.
comfortable. That's all.
Is my hair okay? Because
That's
it falls on the
that's
forehead.
Here,
I
no, but
noticed
no.
but
This
that's-
no. But this is something which you can improve if you want. If you
I
want, that
tried
is
putting a clip, but it
not clip. No clip. No clip. But अभी तो दिन है ना.
Flip them back, put a
हाँ.
pin or a clip.
But-
I have a hairband also, but it's just not staying.
कोई नहीं. इससे कोई
further
फर्क नहीं पड़ता इनसे. बट आप इतना कर सकते हो. अब तो अभी तो 15 दिन है. 15 दिन में they will grow and then you can take them. और this does not make any difference.
Yes.
बिल्कुल इन चीजों की कोई चिंता करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है. Those were the old days when these things were important.
Right. Sir.
If you wear very good sari, right? If your hairstyle is very good, your answers are very bad. In any case, you will not get more than 100 marks.
Yes.
If you are wearing ordinary clothes, right? Use answer nicely, you will get 200 marks. When I went in the interview, my dear child, I was wearing a white shirt, white pant, because I did not have any other shirts and pants. And उस white shirt पे भी नील दिया था मैंने, तो वो नील के निशान रह गए थे. But I scored 136 marks out of 150 at that time. So it does not make any difference, I'm telling you.
Yes. Sir.
Because looks are not that important in the interview. Interview, impression you leave. Right, my child?
Yes. Sir.
All the best.
And since you're a journalism student, right up to the point that you enter the interview room, read the papers, see the headlines for the day, at least the headlines, so you'll be able to formulate some answers.
Right.
Like today is the Civil Services Day. So the question would be, what exactly is this day, the date coinciding with? What are the parameters for a civil servant? Why are you fit for being a civil servant? Those kind of questions could have come. But because of the time constraint, we haven't been able to ask you all those questions.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All the
Thank you,
best.
sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Unacademy. Let's crack it.